Welcome back, everybody. This is Mog on Mog Squad playing some more not Project Zomboid. We are playing Kerbal Space Program today. And as you can see, we are at the launch pad, ready to go with our new ship here. Looks a little different than what you're usually used to seeing because of these little things on the outside. I saw somebody do this on Reddit, on a post on the Kerbal Space Program subreddit there, and I thought it was a cool idea. What it allows you to do is actually start your engines previous to the launch, and these will feed your engines before you launch, and then just stay with the launch pad. So I thought it was a pretty cool idea, so we're going to go ahead and use it. Incoming noise for you folks with headphones as we launch, just so that you're aware. Here we go. There we go. So we are off and launched away. We're going to tilt just a little bit over so that we don't drop anything on the launch pad, which is always a good idea. Maybe not so much making much of a difference currently, but in the game. But I think it's a good thing to do, a good habit to be in. And I will tell you guys a little bit about this as we kind of get up into Atmo. We are going for Duna again, and in the last episode you noticed that we launched, or well, you probably saw if you watched it, which I hope you have. You saw that we were launching a rover out to Duna. Now we are going to be landing this tower here all separates and is going to be kind of our base of operations on Duna, is what this is designed to be. So we're getting close to 200 meters a second, so might as well kill that back just a hair. I think I might be going a little too fast at this point for the terminal velocity of our Atmo, but it's probably creeping up on 200 pretty quick here. So we are getting ready to drop our second drop tanks here on our launch stage as they run out of fuel. Oh, I almost hit that too early. Whew. Okay, I'm glad that didn't happen. So we're coasting right around there. We're going to start tilting over and cranking up our thrust, I think, as we hit that 10K mark. I know I normally talk about waiting until about 12. I don't know if that's well-founded or not, but whatever. It's not important. Let's kick up to full throttle, and we are going to bring this this tilt down to about 45 on the nav ball here. Right there. See, 45 is at this line, this mid-line. And we are sitting with our angle right at about 50 degrees. That should be fine for where we're going to be aiming. Our prograde marker is going to hover right around 45 at full throttle here as we get up into Atmo. So pushing up, we got a periaps of a little over 30 kilometers up, 35 kilometers up, and we are starting to rotate in this thinner atmosphere. That's fine, but I'm going to try to slow that down if I can. But here goes our tanks. Boom! And we are completely upside down, so we're going to flip this over just so that we have it in the correct orientation. I was going to do this all from cockpit, but I don't have my windows all set up for MacJeb to give me the information I need just yet, so whatever. We're getting close to the 40 kilometers up, so we're going to start tilting down to the horizon, so that we're level with the horizon, and start pushing out that periaps while we're building our periapses up. So let's see. Still full throttle, we're at about 80, a little over 80, almost 85 kilometers up, which is out of the Atmo, but I want to get to around 100 before we get ready and set up our node. So we've got Berman Kerman, who is in our hitchhiker box. He's going to be our resident scientist on this mission. We've got Kubaka, Han Kolo, and look who's driving, Neo G Blaze. He's up in the observational tower here as our main pilot, is basically who I'm using effectively to pilot this mission. So we're looking at about an apoaps of right about 100 kilometers up, which is totally fine. And it's been extended quite a ways, so that's good. That's exactly what we wanted. So let's set up this node, get everything ready to go here as we get ready to make our orbit. And that should be about even. No need to check, that should be fine. So let's tilt down to this node and get ready to do this 34-second burn that we're going to be needing. 708.3 meters per second is about what it's saying we need to get into our full orbit, which looks about right. Need a bit over 2,000 meters a second to stay in a relatively decent orbit at about 100 kilometers up. So 34 seconds, we are pretty much on the nodes. We're going to time warp up to the point we need to be burning out, which is about T-minus 17. Oh, that is perfect. Wow, I almost overshot that. That would have been just wonderful, right? So there we go. Once we get into a stable orbit, I'll get ready and set up our node. I'm going to have to time warp and come back to you guys to make sure that Duna's in the right location, because I forgot to check before we started this mission, so bear with me as we do that. But are we going to run out of fuel on this stage? I hope not, because I did start a little bit late. We need about 127 meters a second to finish off this burn, which will be fine with these engines. So let's see. Burning these down on our nukes. In fact, I'm going to angle up just a little bit so that we don't overshoot too much, because we are falling back to the surface now, and we're losing Apoap's height. But that's fine. We'll have this good enough here pretty quick. So 30 more to go, 25, 20 meters to go, 15, 10, and we're fine, whatever. It's all good. We passed our node point, which is why that was kind of messing up, but we're in a stable orbit. It's all good. So, yeah, I'm calling this the, what did I call this? The colony tower. It basically separates right here, and it's got an engine here. It's got parachutes to help aid us dropping into the atmosphere. It has the lander can. It's got enough, basically it's got enough solar panels to keep us good. The idea here is to get a base down there with Kerbals so that we can actually take advantage of that rover. So the idea is going to be to land within walking distance of that rover. So let's go ahead and take a look at where Duna actually is sitting in relative to our position. And let's go ahead and target this. It is behind us, so we need to do a full lap. It's going to be over a year before this is ready. That is fine. So I'm going to come back to you guys once we got this all set up and we're ready to burn for Duna. Okay guys, I am back. So I've got it set up. I think I may have waited a little too long, but we're going to try to make this work. It's probably going to be similar to when I screwed up the last one with burning and I had to do a bunch of corrections. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. I'll just get it all set up, make sure everything's looking okay, and then we'll get in there to Duna. So I need about 1,050 Delta V, which is going to be, it claims, about a 4.5 minute burn. So let's go ahead and get to that point, and then we'll just get moving here. So zipping around Kerbal here to our position that we're going to be needing, which is about 2 minutes 15 seconds to the node, is where we want to start our burn. In fact, I'm going to start it right now. So full burn. Full burn. Okay. So there we go. Sit in that position. And let's go ahead and do some physical time warp, shall we? Get this thing moving. So yeah, we have about... what is that? About a little under 2 million kilometers of distance between us at our closest approach is what it claims, so we need to correct for that somehow, which we'll figure out. We'll get this going. We can do this. I believe in me. Maybe I shouldn't, but maybe I should have just let it go for another pass, but that took a little while to get that all lined up. And unfortunately, my method for determining the right angle is a twist tie bent into approximate angle based on an online calculator. For judging these distance or these burn times. So I haven't opted to go download the protractor mod just yet. I have been debating that with myself. I might sooner or later, because it would come in handy for this kind of crap, timing everything just right. And unfortunately, we just don't have a great way to do it without in this game, other than just trial and error, which is kind of what this game's about. So, you know, whatever. My twist tie method falls within standard Kerbal operating procedures. I almost said positions. That'd have been odd, right? So we're down to about 50 meters a second we need to still burn off. Getting close. Okay. Oh, that was a little much. That's fine. Whatever. We're good. Let's go ahead and delete this node, and then we're going to take a look and get everything all set up. In fact, I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. We're going to go ahead and come back as we get close to Duna. Wish me luck. Okay, figured I'd better show you guys this. So the node I had to do was I had to curve my, change my trajectory a bit so that I was cutting even closer to make this actually happen at about a 24, oh, that's 24 million. What was I saying before? Were we at a billion? Almost 2 billion meters out? That's fine. So here we go. Bringing our burn down, I hope we'll have enough Delta V to make this change happen. I should probably take a look at my my Delta V stats. So we got Just a hair under 2,000 left, which I think should be enough for the capture and everything. And then I've got a bit left in my final stage too, which should be enough to deorbit us. Oh no. Oh, okay. Whew. I heard a pop of the engines. I thought I let one of these things overheat. That would have been just wonderful, huh? Just wonderful. But we are lucky enough that did not happen. So finishing up our burn here, and yeah, we'll come back to you guys when we get into Duna. Welcome back. We are getting an encounter here. We've got our burn finished. We're going to be at about 26 million meters out, which is going to get us an encounter. It's going to be a short encounter for the most part, but hey, it's going to be an encounter all the same. And hopefully with enough Delta V to actually get our capture done. We may need to use some of the last stage to actually get a good clean orbit in before we, if we end up wanting to do a good clean orbit before landing, but it would make it easier to actually judge where we're landing. I'm kind of terrible when it comes to actually judging where I'm going to land, especially in an atmosphere world. Or a world with atmosphere, I should say, not an atmosphere world. So here we go, getting in close. So yeah, we've got a pretty big window, all things considered. Time-wise, we should have more than enough time to make this burn. But yeah, so there goes our alarm clock, making sure that we don't overshoot our encounter. But let's speed that up a little bit so we actually get our encounter. Quapa! Okay. And now to set up our node and actually get this thing all finished. Whew. How much Delta V do I got left in this beast? Oh, actually quite a bit. Okay, fair enough. Awesome. So let's bring that down even more. We got about 16,000 we can use. We are totally off kilter. That's fine. Whatever. Bring that down. It's gonna take about 1,000. Delta V just a hair over 1,000. We've got that. No problem there. But this thing, man, I should have put some RCS on this. This thing pretty much doesn't move with torque. It's just too heavy. I have to run the engines to actually get it anywhere, or go into time warp, and even that needs engines, which is a physical time warp, that is, to move. Which is just rough. That is just rough. Look at that. I've got it on full time warp, and it is not moving. That's awesome. Awesome! So I'm going to turn on my engines just a little bit. Get some motion here. So there we go. Then we're gonna kill those engines and just let this thing get to that node. And cool, we'll come back at you guys when we get in close. Okay, so we just made it. We're in a pretty stable equatorial orbit around Duna, and I want you guys to see this. Look at this fuel. I have like nothing left. We are running on fumes here. Literally, yeah. 21.8 liquid fuel left, 26.64 oxidizer left. This is nothing. How much Delta V does this even equate to with our current load? 64 Delta V. That is it in our interplanetary transfer stage. That's all I've got left. But we made it. And that's all that matters. Excuse me. A little burpee. Little burpees. So, I don't even know what that was. So we're planning to land here at the rover, but I do not want to land on the dark side if I can help it. I want that to be in the sun, so that we're not having to worry too much about view when we get to that point. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of a couple of orbits here probably to get that proper. So once we get ready for the descent, we'll be getting ready. Like hopefully I'll be all good to go on this. It's just it's a tricky situation sometimes to actually get this all lined up, especially going through Atmo with parachutes and all that. It screws with your trajectory when you're getting into the Atmo, which is difficult. And along with the rotation of the planet, judging where you're going to be landing, especially within a couple of kilometers, can be very tricky. So we're going to set that as our target. That's where we're aiming. Look at that cool little graphic they've got on here now, like boop boop boop. See it from your map view. I wish you could see it from this view. That'd be cool, because then you can kind of gauge what you're doing without having to look at the map. But you know, whatever. Just wishful thinking. So I wish we could time warp faster. This is going to take a little while. Okay, we'll come back to you guys. Okay, guys. So we are in orbit around Duna. We have the rover in sun, or at least in light. So we should be able to get a decently lit landing area. And unfortunately, it's kind of in the mountains here, at least the hills, I'll call them. But we've got our node set up for our initial descent, and we're just going to pretty much just run our fuel out. I didn't set up the node perfectly for how much delta V we got left, so I'm just going to keep burning at that point. But as we get ready to bring it on down, it's going to put us at about, I think it was around 40 kilometers off the surface, which should be just skimming the surface of the atmo on this planet, and we should be looking good. So let's see, we're going to get it down to about T-minus 20 seconds or whatever, and take it from there. So let's see, we're getting real close now. T-minus 30, T-minus 2, 1, go! Okay, so burning it in, and oopsie daisy. Okay, so we're out of fuel. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and kick that off. And now I should actually have some, well, maybe not a whole lot of control now, but oh, I wish this were easier. Stop it! Why did it just make that noise? That's craziness. Craziness! Okay. So that's going to bring us down to about, 44 into the atmo. So what I'm going to do is actually set up a node here. Get rid of this first node. We're going to set up a node here. Curve it in a bit more. And get ready, because set as target. I actually want to bring this up a little bit too, so that we're getting closer to it. There we go. And that'll bring us into the atmo, and we'll get a decent amount of aero braking along here, so hopefully that'll save us some fuel too. So let's find our node, shall we? That's our prograde. We want to pretty much turn completely around. Will we get anything this way? Not so much. Okay. Tiny amount of thrust. Should allow us to get over there, I think. And we also do want to burn a little bit north, so where is this node gonna be, I wonder? You know what, I'm gonna okay, there we go, it is kind of this direction. Sweet. I'm glad at least with a tiny amount of thrust, this seems to work okay. Now I hope these parachutes will actually be enough to hold this thing, because I haven't done much testing in re-entry with this thing, so wish me luck, guys. This is gonna be an interesting landing, I think. So we want chase. I think I'm gonna put it on free cam. That way it looks decent for now. So we need about 2 seconds worth of burn for this correction. So let's zoom over to that point. 4, 3, 2, 1 minute. And that's probably fine. Oops. That is perfect. Okay. Get rid of this node. How are we looking? About 24. We want to be on the retrograde. Hopefully as we get into the atmo, the winglets will actually give us a bit more control. So as we're descending, we should get better control of this craft. Was that the retro right there? I'm not paying attention to where I'm going. This, I hope, is retro. That looks like retro. Looks like it is retro. Sweet. So, we're going to get in close, do a little time warp magic, hold that in position there, and let's get down to the surface, shall we? No, stay on retro. Whatever. Whatever. Okay, zipping in. And it's slowing us down since we're getting close to the surface. That's one of the things that always bugged me about this. It's always so slow when you start getting into the close to the surface of a planet, which can make this a little bit tricky. I guess it kind of makes sense, kind of, sorta, whatever. Good old water. How are we looking? Let's watch that atmo gauge. Because once we start getting atmo, we should gain control. About 38 up, 37 up. Let's get this control going, come on. Actually, retrograde is where we want to be heading, but I don't really like using that if I can help it. It comes in handy for these ships where control is just ridiculous. Setting up the smart SA or ASS, that is. Ba-bum-bum-bum. There's our target. Oh, jeez. We're getting close already. Okay. We're going to give it a little bit of thrust. We need to get this under control and in position, because we are probably going to need to correct this burn. Well, we are going to need to give it a little bit of thrust to actually decelerate and land properly. Certainly are. So on the retrograde marker, right there. And we're going to floor it at this point. Gosh, I'm going to overshoot this, I think. Actually, no. This thrust seems to be decent. And now that we've actually got some atmosphere, controlling it should be good. We're about 27 off the surface, 27 kilometers off the surface. Coming in nice and good, or nice and hot. But we are pretty darn close. I should have started burning earlier. That's fine. I'm going to keep it right here, right on the horizon, so we don't lose everything. All of our momentum, that is. I do want to still have downward momentum. I don't want to stick it right on the retrograde all the way down. We just want to get this retrograde up to the top, and you can do that by burning basically away from where you want it to go, on the opposite side of the direction of you want it to go. Let's call that good for here until we get a little closer. How's my fuel looking? Okay. And I'm going to deploy parachutes and get those ready. And we are slowing down. Slowing down pretty well. So let's speed this up. Physical time warp. And it's not slowing us down enough. So, kick on those thrusters a bit more. And I think we should have more than enough fuel to do this. Actually, I kind of want to focus on the ship, but it doesn't seem to want to let me. There we go. We should be falling pretty much straight at this thing, which is good. Actually, it might be too good. No, no, don't overturn. I don't want the parachutes to rip this thing back. We want to keep it at retrograde if we can. That way, when the parachutes engage, we're not like, you know, jerking the ship all around. We're about 8 kilometers off. There goes the drogue chute. And the rest of the chutes, we're actually speeding up. That's fine. I think we're doing okay here. How far up are we actually? Whoa, I should probably have that custom window open. A little over 2 kilometers up. Boy, oh boy. Drogue chute is deployed. We need to drop some speed before it gets to the 500 meter mark. There we go. There we go. We are slowing down. We're at about 60. Our parachutes, when they deploy, our main parachute should have enough. We should be slowed enough where they don't do any damage, I hope. Nice. Look at that. We definitely still need to slow down a bit, but turn off that. Actually, I'm going to turn that back on. We are looking okay. About 200 off the surface, 200 meters off the surface. We need to start slowing down a bit more. Keep it at around 10, if not lower. And look at that, within a kilometer of our rover. We can actually see the dang thing. We're about 10 meters and dropping in speed velocity. Okay. Whew. That was closer than I thought. But look at that, we made it. And might as well. We do have some fuel left, so why don't we do this? Why don't we... which way am I facing? I think I'm facing that way. I'm going to turn on my lights. No, I'm not. Apparently I'm not. We have no electricity. Let's press this. Let's get some electricity while we can, and we're gonna fill that back up. Turn on our lights so that we actually get some sight here, because our lights are oriented forward on this vessel, so that I can actually see which way the front of the vehicle is. Oh, and that's because I'm in time warp. That's not gonna work. Blurp. There we go. So that's the front. So we're just gonna hover over closer to the rover while we're here. And we should be pretty much full, yeah. So let's put these away. And then we are going to do some maneuvering on the surface here. This should be interesting. Big old super tall craft. How much much is it going to take to get us off here? A little bit. Okay, rotate and tilt this thing. Turn that down, the thrust that is, and we should just kind of coast into position here. Oh, oh, we're dropping. That's fine. I'm gonna turn on my lights though. Should make this a bit easier, huh? Oh, this is weird. This is weird. This is weird. I want to get this. This is hilly kind of area. I don't want to go too crazy with maneuvering, or at least as far as landing goes. I want to keep it nice and steady because we want to get it to a decent surface where this thing isn't tilted very much if we can help it. So it looks like we want to get a little closer. Look at that! I can't believe how close we got to this thing. I'm excited. Okay. So it looks like we are going up, up, up and away. We don't want to kill that thrust totally. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, okay, okay. Whew. I think I could handle a space lander, but you know, interplanetary lander. But holy crap, this thing's just tall and unwieldy. And you know what? I'm gonna call that good. We've got position overlooking this thing for the most part. I'm gonna see if I can get a little closer and keep this thing relatively stable. Look at that. Less than 100 meters away. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay. Okay. Ah, sorry, I'm not talking much. Delicate operations. Very delicate operations. Is this good? This is fine. This is fine. So bringing it in. Okay. We are on a bit of a slant, but I'm gonna call that good. Whatever, you know? We are landed, we are in decent position, and I got my hotkey set up to deploy the solar panels. Let's shut off MacJeb. We don't need you messing with our stuff anymore. Shut off our landing lights. Are those all off? Mostly. It looks like my hotkeys didn't work for all those, so let's shut these off manually and just keep our other lights on. And that is a successful mission, I do believe, I would say. Successful mission indeed. With barely enough fuel to complete it, but hey, we made it. Deploy our communications array. We've got our antennas up top and our satellite up front. 4, I think, deploys the ladder system, except for, of course, the one that I added after setting that up. Plop that down there, and there's our rover, guys. So next time we come back, I will be showing you guys, I don't know, actually. I haven't entirely decided. Maybe we should go to Ike, maybe something over into another planet. I kind of like knocking out everything in a planetary area while we're here, and kind of like set up for it and kind of know what we're doing for it. But let me know. I will add I should say this, and thank you for watching till the very end, but if you want a Kerbal in the game here, I will name a Kerbal after you, or at least a name that you choose, as long as it's appropriate, for the first person who comments on here with an idea for where we should go this season, some other idea with what you'd like to do, or where you'd like to see next, if we haven't taken care of it already. So cheers, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.